The clockwork star. The night Mira discovered she could hear the stars singing, she was hiding in her grandmother's attic, trying to escape another boring dinner party below. She pressed her forehead against the dusty circular window, staring out at the night sky when she heard it. A melody like crystal bells and distant thunder woven through with harmonies that made her heart ache. The music came from a single star that pulsed with amber light just above the eastern hills. "What is that sound?" Mira whispered to herself. Before she could answer, a voice spoke from the shadows behind her. "You can hear it too, can't you, child?" Mira spun around, her heart pounding. There stood her grandmother at the top of the attic stairs, but not the frail old woman who'd been pouring tea downstairs. This woman stood tall and strong, and her eyes blazed with the same amber light as the star. "Grandma, your eyes, they're glowing." "That's not a star, Mira," her grandmother said mysteriously. "It's a door, and it's been waiting 70 years for you." From within her shawl, her grandmother pulled out an object that shouldn't exist, a key made entirely of spinning golden gears and intricate wheels. Mira stared at the key, mesmerized. Almost without thinking, she reached out her hand. The moment her fingers touched that key, reality shattered like glass. The attic dissolved into fragments of light and shadow, and suddenly, Mira found herself standing in a place that couldn't exist, the Interstice. An endless cathedral with impossibly high vaulted ceilings stretching into infinity. Floating in the vast space were millions of but tiny glowing scenes. A child laughing at a birthday party, an old man planting a garden, a mother's embrace, a student's triumph. Every hourglass was someone's lost moment, preserved in amber light. "Where am I?" Mira breathed, her voice barely a whisper. "This is the Interstice, Mira," a young woman's voice answered, "the space between seconds." Then, without warning, an hourglass nearby flickered. Its warm amber light dimmed, then died completely, swallowed by creeping darkness. "No." Her grandmother's voice filled with sudden fear. "It's happening again." A sound split the air. A terrible grinding mechanical scream that made every single hourglass tremble. From the darkness emerged a nightmare, a towering creature of shadow and twisted gears, 20 feet tall, its massive body covered in grinding black metal. But worst of all were the faces. Hundreds of human faces rippled across its surface, frozen in expressions of loss and despair. Their mouths were open in silent, eternal screams. "The time eater," her grandmother whispered in horror. The creature moved through the hall, reaching out with massive clawed hands. It grabbed floating hours. The clockwork key in Mira's hand suddenly burned hot. Knowledge flooded her mind. She could reverse the creature, wind it back to what it once. Mira thought about all her wasted time, the countless hours scrolling mindlessly through her phone, the days spent angry at her little brother over stupid things, the evenings wasted in boredom when she could have been living. But then she looked at the creature again. At all those trapped faces crying out silently, at all those stolen lives, she took a deep breath and made her choice. She walked forward. With each step, hourglasses around her began to light up, showing her own wasted moments in painful detail. She saw herself ignoring her mother's calls for dinner and done. She saw the afternoon she spent sulking instead of forgiving. She saw the year she was too afraid to try something new. But she didn't stop walking. When she reached the time meter, she looked up at its terrible face and pressed the golden clockwork key against its chest and turned. The creature shrieked, a sound like 1,000 clocks unwinding at once, as it began to shrink in reverse. Gears spun backward. The trapped faces dissolved into streams of golden light, finally freed after decades of imprisonment. The stolen hours flew free like thousands of golden birds, returning to their rightful places. Where the monster had stood, only a young woman remained. On her knees, weeping, human again. "I just wanted more time," she sobbed. "I'm so sorry. Forgive me." She smiled through her tears and dissolved into amber light. Then Mira felt it, the emptiness, the void where her wasted hours had been. The pain was real, sharp, permanent, but she also felt something new, a crystal clear awareness of how valuable each second truly is. Her grandmother rushed to embrace her, holding her tight. "Those hours are gone forever," her grandmother whispered with pride and concern. "But you've learned that time is the only magic that matters, and every moment is a choice." "Are you ready to go home?" her grandmother asked. "Yes." "I'm ready," Mira answered, her voice stronger now. Dawn was breaking when Mira opened her eyes in the attic. The clockwork key rested warm in her pocket, proof it had all been real. Below, her family was waking up. She could pretend nothing had changed, or she could choose differently. She chose the stairs. In the kitchen, golden morning light streamed through the windows. Her mother was cooking eggs. Her father read the paper. Her little brother made silly faces at her. The old Mira would have rolled her eyes and grabbed her phone. But not today. Today she laughed, genuinely. She listened to her father's stories. She hugged her brother. "Mira, you seem different," her mother said with surprise and hope. "I'm perfect, Mom." Mira smiled warmly. "I'm just really here." Her phone buzzed with notifications. She glanced at it and left it on the table. Outside, her friend Sarah called. "Want to go to the park?" The old Mira would have stayed inside. But now she understood. "Yes, I'm coming right now," Mira called back enthusiastically. At the park, she swung on swings played in grass, watched clouds drift, every moment fully present. Feeling the sun, the wind, the joy of simply being alive. The clockwork key pulsed warmly in her pocket throughout the day. That evening, sitting at dinner with her family, Mira looked at each face in the warm lamplight. Her mother's tired but loving smile, her father's gentle laugh, her brother's goofy grin, all of it temporary, all of it precious.